All right, it is Friday night. You know what that means. Another night of Australian NASCAR eSeries. Now, I'm having trouble with the overlays. They won't seem to fire up on my stream, but I have them on my screen, so I'm not sure what's going on there. So I'm just trying to get that sorted, but they are starting to grid up. This is, of course, the Nashville Superspeedway. Round two, race three of the Friday Night Trucks powered by Beat the Dark. Mental Health Matters. We are here for the final round before the championship round. Let me just get to the Discord as well. Where is it there? Look down here. All right. So they are lining up, and I know you can't see the grid just yet, order, but I can tell you it is Jason Holdsworth, and I've got the hiccups, Ruben and Phelps on that first row. Second row, Daniel Stevens and Ron Thompson, Nigel Sodell and Lachlan Okijo on that third row. Fourth row, Mark Cochran and Marty Mitchell, Matty Raymond and Tim Blundell in that fifth row. Sixth row, Tom Pritchard and Brian Blundell. And on that seventh and final row, Andy Barber and Aaron Gilbert. All right, just while we're getting this first lap on, I'm just going to keep working on the overlays. We'll get that up and running in just a second. Let's see. All right, we are off and racing. Oh man, I wish I could get the top overlay, the ticker parade, but I can't. Off racing, Holdsworth, Phelps, Stevens, Thompson and Akijo. That is Jason Holdsworth, Ruben Phelps, Daniel Stevens, Ron A. Thompson, and Lachlan Akijo. The top five as we get this race off and running. All right, I'm just going to try something and come back to it, see if we can get it to kick in. Nope, not there yet. Currently tagged on Nigel Seidel there, the 69 black and white car. We've got, that looks like Lachlan Akijo just up in front of him. It is the 42. Currently riding along with the 15 Mark Cochran, Matty Raymond just up there ahead of him. Marty Mitchell. Let's try and get some ideas. Matty Raymond has passed Mark Cochran for ninth place. Tom Pritchard will also move past Mark Cochran and take that 10th place position. Oh, wow, those overlays work out. Some on the fly fixes as we get to lap 5 of 150. This, of course, as I said, the head of the broadcast, the Australian Australian NASCAR eSeries. And it is the third race of the second round of the playoffs, sixth race total. Championship round next week. This is for all the marbles. To get into the race for all the marbles, rather. All right, I think I've done something because now I've lost the overlays at my end as well. I have control of it. I just can't pull it for some reason with those cameras, with those overlays. Just could go wrong. I've tried to get some support to see if we could figure that out, but nothing as of yet. All right, try something else then. Lap 11 of 150. Sorry about the presentation so far, guys. Just having a few issues with the software, apparently. I tried to get some live help while we were doing that, but I haven't been able to get much, so I thought I would at least try and get these old ones back on the screen. Oh, wrong button, sorry. Try to make that a little bit smaller. Well, look like almost a little bit of contact there as we try and get this sorted out. Slideshow. That'll do. Way too big. All right, there we go. We do have some level of presentation back. Watching Daniel Stevens, that's Tim Blundell, Nigel Seidel as well. Looks like Tom Pritchard back behind them. But those three racing currently for fifth, sixth, and seventh. Top five currently Jason Holdsworth, our race leader, Ruben Phelps, Ryan Thompson, and Lachlan Akijo. Nigel Seidel in that coveted top five spot. Jason Holdsworth, quickest out there at the moment. 30.027 to the quick time. 653, sorry, is the fastest time out there. probably look for a similar strategy for last week, trying to break it down into either 350 lap lots to get those tyres to ride out, or try and go 100 laps on those first set of tyres, or as much on the first and second, so that the original set, the first set, so that you can try and hope for a late caution and make a last run. We've got a bit of Bozzy action in the Twitch chat. Hey, Mr. Bozzy, sir, just a little bit of Friday Night Trucks and NASCAR racing action here tonight. Australian NASCAR eSeries, round 2 of the playoffs, race 3. This is it, the last chance to secure yourself a good spot in the championship. Maximise those points. 18 of 150 laps in so far, and this is our race leader. Sorry, no, so it's Andy J. Barber back in 10th, that is. We've got a bit of a running pains issue. Yes. Be a pitch. Oh, no, it seems to be running okay. How are you, Mr. Bosworth? Bozzy, sir? Daniel Stevens just coming past the left of our screen. That is Tom Pritchard and Matthew Raymond. There is Andy J. Barber as well. Yeah, no, some of these overlays aren't correct because Andy Barber, what has gone on with my PC tonight? It is just doing everything wrong. Look, let's impress these guys with this quality Bobith TV broadcast. And my overlay system doesn't work. Looks like my paint system's not working, so I'm just going to tell it to re-download those paints. See how that goes. That's the 651 of Marty Mitchell there and Andy Barber on our screens prior. There's Mark Cochran and the 86 of Brian Blundell. A lot of these guys just outside the 10. Only 14 cars in this race tonight, so this one should be very textbook, I guess. It'll be lap management, fuel management, tyre management will be the decider, not really cautions, I don't believe. We just quickly check something settings-wise to make sure I've got that set as well. Sorry about this. Always professional broadcast over here at Bobith TV. Yep, hide numbers hidden. Let's go up to the leader and see how Jason Holdsworth is doing. The 11 has got that lead out to about 2.5 seconds over that car right there. Ruben Phelps, the 06, and the 22, Ron Thompson. They're in second and third currently. All right, let's go back through the pack. So in second spot, there's Ruben and Ron. Ron's moved up into second there. Ruben and Ron, a little bit of contact. Nothing too crazy, but Ron, we picked that perfect time to jump up there and say hello. Back there in fourth place, the 42 of Lachlan Akijo. He's got a bit of a lead going over the 4 of Tim Blundell. There he is there. Then the next car back behind them is the 57. That's Daniel Stevens. Then Tom Pritchard. Matty Raymond, and of course Matty Raymond, Andy Barber. There we go. Brian Blundell is that one. Oh, we missed a few. Marty Mitchell in the 651 and the 15 of Mark Cochran. Then we head on over to the 86 of Brian Blundell, the 69 of Bossman Nigel Seidel, and 8 laps down at this stage, the 203 of Mr. Aaron Gilbert. Riding along with the 91 at Tom Pritchard. Thank you for the camera in there. Get a good view of that helmet through his mirror, seeing what he can see a little bit there. Eyes forward. Thank you for the like, Moist Mauler. Appreciate you. And Lolly, of course. All right, 31 of 150 laps. We're here at a very routine and textbook Nashville Superspeedway. We've made it to Lebanon in the US of A for the Australian NASCAR eSeries final round. The race to determine the final four, the top four, the starting four, the four. The championship four is the phrase, Bob. Yep, no more support on that overlay. That's a bit of a rough draw on that one. Not sure why, but looks like we've got all the right paints back now, so that's good. Everyone's looking like they should. 42 of Lachlan Akijo still in that top five. Behind him, Tim Blundell, Ruben Phelps, Ron Thompson, Jason Holdsworth are the three cars in front of him. I wonder how long until we start seeing those cars hitting into the pits. We're only at lap 34, lap 35, my mistake. So it will be within the next, say, 15, 20, 25 laps, maybe. We established about a 77 lap run. but I may be wrong, so we'll have to wait and see. Right now, my expert that we usually have in the booth, currently out there on the track, is in a 12th of spot of 14. That is the 69 of Nigel Seidel. Coming up on the 38th lap to the 42 there in 4th spot. Let's try and find it. Really like some of these other cars. just keep sort of sticking on them. Good battle going on with Mark Cochran and Brian Blundell in the 86 right now. We'll watch that one play out. The 5, the 83, and the 57. No, sorry, 91. Tom Pritchard, Matty Raymond, and Andy Barber. They are also involved in a bit of a battle right now. Let's try and sort of get a look at that. The 83, the 5, and the 91 still battling it out. The 83's got the lead of this battle. They are 7th, 8th, and 9th currently. One of 150. They are still out there running strong. Aaron Gilbert, 33 laps in, he's 8 laps down, but Jason Holdsworth just starts his 42nd lap. Ron Thompson and Ruben Phelps, second and third. Lachlan Akijo and Tim Blundell are the 5. Daniel Stevens, Matthew Raymond, Andy J. Barber, Tom Pritchard, and Mark Cochran are the 10. Then it's Brian Blundell, Nigel Seidel, Marty Mitchell, and Aaron Gilbert. If you're out there watching on YouTube, Facebook, or Twitch, or via Bobbers TV, say good day in the chat. Let us know who you're going for, and just whatever, have a chat. Kelvin, what have you missed? Not much, buddy. 45 laps of some pretty much routine NASCAR truck action here at Nashville Superspeedway. Hey, OP, how are you, brother? No pitting as of yet. 45 a lap of green flag run. That's the word I was looking for. My overlays decided they didn't want to work tonight, so we had to revert back to the old school ones for a little bit. But they do look great still, so it's not so bad. Look, we might have our first pit taker. Tom Pritchard has gone in ninth place and will be the first one to lock in that potential 50-50-50 combo of 50 laps per tyre run. Falling all the way back to 13th, but it's not a bother. There are still over 100 laps in this race to go. Jason Holdsworth still the race leader. Ron Thompson, Ruben Phelps, Lachlan Akisha and Tim Blundell, the 5. Danny Stevens, Andy Barber, Matty Raymond and Mark Cochran, Brian Blundell, that man on our screens. That's the top 10. Nigel Seidel and Marty Mitchell still out on that track on 11th and 12th. Tom Pritchard in the pits, getting some repairs, some fuel, it seems. Maybe a quick toilet break too in 13th. And then still a few laps down, 6 laps down from that. Aaron Gilbert in 14th. All right, as they come around into 3 and 4 for the 49th time, a third of this race has already been completed, or will have been completed. It's basically what we're just coming up on the 28-minute mark of the broadcast. Broadcast pretty much got here just as the race was lining up for the start. So that is some tremendous pace that these boys are doing. Lachlan Akisha is headed into the pits. Tom Pritchard still in there, so not sure if he might have tapped the wall, had a bit of damage, maybe having to repair some things there. But a lot of the boys is completing their 50th lap. All right, as both TV has a bit of a meltdown at back here. The dog was going to be crazy. Sorry about that. Um, we are on lap 55. I'm going to get my act together one day. I'm sure of it. One day. One day. 55 of 150. Jason Holdsworth still our race leader. Looks like Tom Pritchard still in the pits. Lachlan Akijo back out on the track. Only a lap down, but where was I? Yeah, Lachlan, sorry, 6 laps back on the 1 lap down, 6 laps. He has been back on the track. Sorry, tonight, this whole month, it's the 4-week anniversary of my brother passing, so it's sort of hit a bit hard today and other things going on. So, yeah, apologies. I will get my act together. Apologies to Nigel and Jason, Australian NASCAR eSeries as well. I do humbly apologise. All right, Jason Holdsworth all the way down to Nigel Seidel, top 10, 56 laps. Looks like Marty Mitchell in 11th has gone into the pits, but it was, I was going to say it was just a quick stop, but I thought he was rolling out, but no, that was him pulling off. So we will see cars starting to head on into the pits very soon. Camera's just loving Mr. Brian J. Blundell at this point in time. Riding along with the 83 of Matty Raymond. He's in 7th place. That's Marty Mitchell in 12th ahead of him. Lachlan Akijo in 11th behind him. Couple more guys heading on into that pitch. Jason Holdsworth has given up the lead to Ron A. Thompson. Ruben Phelps, Tim Blundell, Matty Raymond, they're all staying out. That's the top 4 at the moment. Jason, oh no. Looks like we've got a few more guys going in. Jason Holdsworth, Daniel Stevens. Looks like Nigel Seidel, Brian Blundell as well. Marty Mitchell's out and back on the track, as is Aaron Gilbert. Tom Pritchard, 16 laps. He has retired for this race. Looks like that's Andy Barber throwing it down pit lane. No, that's the 83. That is Matty Raymond. My mistake. There's the 11 of Jason Holdsworth racing himself back out of the pit. So currently only 2 cars remain on the track who haven't pit yet. 3, sorry, Mark Cochran, Tim Blundell, and I was going to say Ron Thompson, but he has just gone into the pits and handed over that lead to Tim Blundell. Tim Blundell, Mark Cochran, last 2 cars out on the track still. Jason Holdsworth officially in 6th place at the moment, but he's right there behind Tim. He might be a lap down. I'm not sure. I'm trying to work out the standings here. Yes, he is. For Tim Blundell handing that race lead back over to, I believe, Matty Raymond now. could be Ron Thompson, actually, sorry. Ron Thompson, Mark Cochran, Jason Holdsworth, Ruben Phelps. That is a good split. You can do the similar split again. A lot of these guys will get to about a lap, 130, and if there's a caution, late caution, or anything like that, and they can grab that spare set of tyres, it's gonna be interesting. Josh Roberts, thank you for the like, kind sir. We'll see you, of course, Sunday nights American, Monday mornings Australian for the Knuckleheads iRacing League's beginning week of race action. Late model competition, Mud Mule TV, Bobbeth TV on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. All right, we are very, very close to this halfway mark. A lot of the cars sort of split up to give you a bit of an idea. On your screens there, Ruben Phelps is in 4th place. That car behind him, Aaron Gilbert, he's in 13th. The car ahead of him is Marty Mitchell in 12th. The car ahead of that is Ron Thompson in 3rd. Oh, 42 has got loose. Let's see if we can, we'll make him go backwards into that and see what happened. Yeah, just got a little bit loose. The 06 avoided it nicely. And there we go, the 42 brings out our first caution, 67 laps into this 150 lap race. Mark Cochran, our official race leader. We see him there on the screens. Jason Holdsworth in 2nd. Ron Thompson 3rd. Ruben Phelps 4th. And Daniel Stevens currently in 5th. Andy J. Barber, Matty Raymond, and Tim Blundell 6th, 7th, and 8th. That is the lead lap cars. Lachlan Akijo in 9th, 10th. Nigel Seidel, Brian J. Blundell in 11th, 12th. Marty Mitchell, they are all a lap down. 9 laps down. Aaron Gilbert in 13th. That is our 13 car field. We do have a 14th car. Tom Pritchard, unfortunately, has parked it for the night. A couple of cars going in for another pit stop there. 57 of Daniel Stevens, the 5 of Andy Barber, the 4 of Tim Blundell. They will fall back to the longest part, or to the back of the longest line, sort of, but a couple of these cars, we might see some wave rounds and some lucky dogs applied. All right, while they're rolling around and getting it lined up, I'm just going to grab a drink refill. I'll be back in one moment, folks. Looks like still at least one more lap to go. It's going to be around lap 70, 71, 72. We get this back under green flag conditions. Do a single file, but it looks like they're about to get ready to start going at double file as they come through 3 and 4 to indicate one to go. Shrub Lord in Twitch chat there. Hey Bob, how are you, mate? I'm good, brother. I'm good. Having a few technical issues with the overlays here tonight, but they're new for me, so let's switch back to the old ones. But yeah, doing good. Thinking, seen that you have been doing a few joint streams and things like that, and I've been thinking about trying to get onto those with you and Griff, etc. Now that my system can handle Discord streaming and everything all at the same time. Mark Cochran heading in to the pits. So with 1 to green, that is going to make Jason Holdsworth our race restarter. Ron Thompson's going to be alongside him on that front row. Ruben Phelps and Matty Raymond, second row. Third row is going to be Daniel Stevens and Andy Barber. I think it might be the Blundell boys on that fifth row. Him and Brian Blundell. Sixth row is going to be Marty Mitchell, Aaron Gilbert, Lachlan Akijo, Nigel Seidel, Mark Cochran will line up at the end. Yeah, there's a lot of good games out there. Saw that Shout Together or Don't Shout Together or something. A couple of other sort of co-op games that seem like they'd make us look like little children. All right, we're going to get this one back underway. Pace car's going to leave the track very soon. Barney up there, he's got that green flag. The boys are in the restart zone. They're going to fire. He's going to wave. We've got this race back underway. Lap 72 of 150 laps. Straight at NASCAR eSeries Friday Night Trucks powered by Beat the Dark. Mental health matters. This is race 3 of round 2 of the playoffs. 6 races, 2 rounds, 3 races apiece. We're about to decide the championship for championship round next week, Chicagoland. Well, look out, we've had a crash. There's 2 cars heading along the infield. They got that all recovered by the looks of it. Oh, don't seem to have coverage of it, but yeah, it looks like they got it all back on track and going. Still got 9 cars on the lead lap. 3 of those cars behind them, 10th, 11th, and 12th, 1 lap down a piece. Aaron Gilbert's 9 laps down, trying to race his way back into this mammoth battle as we start our second last lap of the first half of this race. Mark Cochran not happy with some repairs. It looks like he's headed back into the pits. And being a lap down, depending on how much, a lap up on some of those guys, depending on how long he's going to be in the pits, he may lose that 9th spot or possibly gain 4 competitors. Brian Blundell, Andy Barber, Tim Blundell, all on the screen there. Running along inside the truck of the 5 car, Andy J. Barber, 6th place. Nice and steady into that turn. Want to oversteer it, put too much acceleration in. Tyres, while they're about 15, well, in Andy's case, 7 or 8 laps old. They will only just be starting to get a little bit grippy, not a lot. Still a bit of temperature to get in those tyres. That race there, just between the 9th place Brian Blundell, 1 lap down, and the 6th place Andy Barber is quite heating up here. Not really a positional race, but get that lap back. Brian Blundell is going to need to get past Andy Barber and then race all the way back around to the rear end of him to battle for that top 5 potential spot. And the 06. We just saw Jason Holdsworth, our race leader, at the bottom of the screen. They're second and third. And I think you are looking at one of the two of the three championship contenders that will come out of next Friday night. Battles have been amazingly fun. Great to watch. All right, Ruben Phelps, Ron Thompson, Jason Holdsworth still our top 3. 23-25 a lap run here. 68 laps to go. Just the one whole caution in this race. That was way back on around lap 30. No, not 30 because I was looking at. That was about 25 laps ago, so about 69-ish it was. Ron A. Thompson there for Nitro Racing on our screens. He has been very successful in this Friday night truck competition this season. Definitely one of the favorites, the sole American in this series, coming out of Carolina, and gets up at the crack of dawn to show these boys how to drive at NASCAR trucks. And yeah, we welcome his competition. Ruben Phelps back there behind him in third. Matty Raymond, the man on our screens, in fourth. Tim Blundell, he's in fifth, just back there behind him. You can see him now. Jason Holdsworth still that race leader with about a half-second lead on Ron Thompson. Lachlan Akijo has no, there he is. Recently been into the pits. He's currently 2 laps back on the track, 6 laps down. He was the first one to go in last time as well. This one looks a little bit earlier. We just saw him at the bottom of the screen as the 83 and the 4. Matty Raymond and Tim Blundell battle their way past him as he's in pit lane there. Lachlan going straight back in. Was in there last time for about 30 seconds. Has come out, done another lap, gone straight back in. Looked like he's not happy with anything that is going on with that car. Just 58 laps to go. Looks like, Lachlan back in the pits for a long time this time. Current current places, I guess is the phrase I was looking for, Bob. Jason Holdsworth, our race leader. Ronnie Thompson, second. Ruben Phelps, currently third. Fourth. Matty Raymond and Tim Blundell, fifth. Andy Barber in sixth. Seventh, Daniel Stevens in eighth. The man on our screens right now, Nigel Seidel. The top 8 are on the lead lap. 1 lap down, Brian Blundell in ninth. Marty Mitchell in 10th. 2 laps down, Mark Cochran. He's in 11th. Lachlan 12th with 9 laps down. But Aaron Gilbert might be able to gain an extra position and jump from 13th to 12th this lap. Tom Pritchard, our 14th car, retired 48 laps ago. This is the 69 of Nigel Seidel's bonnet, apparently. Four-car Tim Blundell. He's got Matty Raymond just on that high line behind him there, we can see. All right, as we get to 54 laps to go, I think it's taken me 96 laps. But I think I might have... might have done it here, but I don't think... Yes, I have. All right, let's turn that off. And... Oh, no, not that one off, sorry. That one. Our slideshow. We've got our proper overlay up on our screen finally. normality back to this broadcast now. We just clean up some of these screens. Oh, look at that. See the battle box, everything. Okay. Oh, that's right. We can't really run the track map. There we go. Get some of these drivers' info loaded up on our screens. All right, have a look at some of those pit strategies that are there. Oh, no, we can't because the data's incorrect. Ah, man. While we've been watching some of this race back at the midfield, the 22 car Ron Thompson has got himself about a 6/10 lead over Jason Holdsworth, pushed him back to second there. He is there with only, 46 laps to go. Ruben Phelps is still back there in third. In Blundell, Matty Raymond, Andy Barber just behind him. There's Daniel Stevens, Nigel Didell, Brian Blundell, Marty Mitchell, Mark Cochran, and Aaron Gilbert. Lachlan Akisha, unfortunately, still in the pits. I reckon his race, unfortunately, is over. And he will join Tom Pritchard to see out the remainder of this race as an audience member. See on our screens, that is Matty Raymond there. No, that's the 203. Sorry, that is Aaron Gilbert. 33 there behind him, Matty Raymond. That is because I'm not looking at the standings, but I'm looking at the relative. Sorry, not the standings. Ron Thompson though, 101 was the lap. 7 laps ago. If we can go back and have a look at it. This was Ron Thompson. Actually, let's get a better view. Taking the lead in the race. Wow, that was really streamlined, Bob. Just a nice little easy pass through the turns in the 3 and 4 and took that race lead in style. Get back to the live action though. The 203 up ahead of the 83. He is actually 12th at the moment, Aaron Gilbert. 11th, Mark Cochran, Marty Mitchell, 10th and 9th. Brian Blundell, sorry. Some of these lap times as the guys are racing around the track. Eddie Raymond, 31.957, a little bit quicker than Andy Barber, who is 400 of a second slower. Ron Thompson, let's look at him and Jason Holdsworth there. Ron Thompson, a clear advantage over Jason Holdsworth at this point in time. You see there, the battle for first is out of Ron Thompson, Jason Holdsworth, Ruben Phelps, and Tim Blundell. About a 5.5 second difference though between Ron and Tim, so as well as Ruben. So it might be just down to Ron and Jason at this point. I'll have a look at Ron's speeds here as he comes into the turn. You can see him slow right down to about 208 kilometres an hour, but puts that foot back on it on exit down that backstretch, reaches speeds in excess of 260 Ks. And you look at that speed drop right back down to around that 210 mark. I don't think we'll get sector data. Well, there we go. Jason Holdsworth a little bit quicker on sector 1, evens on sector 2 there. Laps in 150 the total. There's the 06 and the 04. One of the few actual positional battles on the track at the moment, like Daniel Stevens, Marty Mitchell in the pits for that last stop. Andy Barber had also been an exit. It was in there twice in fact. That has dropped him back to 9th spot. All right. Where are we? Ron Thompson still has about a 1.5 second lead over Jason Holdsworth, Ruben Phelps, and Tim Blundell. Currently battling it out. That's Tim Blundell on our screens. Matty Raymond back there behind him. Nigel Seidel is in 6th. See there. The other boys are there. A couple of them are lap down. Hang on. Negative. Well, that logo's in the way, so that probably doesn't work that great. Do some things around. We'll get some reordering and rebalancing going, and that will make that look wonderful. Eddie Barber has passed Brian Blundell that last lap, moved himself up into 7th spot. Brian's back to 8th. Not sure we will get a late caution with 30 odd laps remaining in this race. Comes out any time now. Look for a massive cars to flood in if they've got tyres remaining. Looks like Matty Raymond has entered pit lane, 120th lap. He's in 5th place. I wonder if we'll start to see some other guys start to go in as we ride along with Andy Barber there. If I tell who that is up in front of him, I believe it is the 06. It is Ruben Phelps. Blundell back there. So this is just Andy Barber trying to make his laps back up. He is currently a lap down. There we go. That might help us out a little bit with the relative there. That is the 6th place Andy Barber. In front of him, he'll have the 11th place Marty Mitchell. The 3rd placed Tim Blundell. Behind him, Jason Holdsworth, it looks like. I think Jason might have entered the pits. Yeah, Jason Rubin, Brian Blundell all entering the pits. So with around 25 laps to go, the Hail Mary's the final stage of the plans. Tyres and fuel going into effect. Let's see who is going to benefit the most. Nigel Seidel, what a jump. He's up to 2nd place. Andy Barber's charged 9 spots from his starting position into 4th. Our tough luck at the moment, Ruben Phelps back in 8th, falling 6 spots from his starting position of 2nd. 6-5-1, that's Marty Mitchell as we ride along with Andy Barber in that 5 car. Up ahead of him, that is the 15 of Mark Cochran. Ron Thompson has entered pit lane. Nigel Seidel is officially going to take over as the race lead. Stay out, Nigel. Stay out for a lap, just so you can get that lead lap. Leading the lap. You know what I'm trying to say, lads. Matty Raymond passes Daniel Stevens up into 5th. Jason Holdsworth passes Ron Thompson for 3rd. Ruben Phelps has moved up into 6th, passing Daniel Stevens. Tim Blundell also moves passing Daniel Stevens, dropping him back to 8th as he moves into 7th. Aaron Gilbert's headed in to the pits. Nigel Seidel, our current race leader. Let's get up to Nigel. There he is there, Ruben. Brian Blundell, in 9th place. Just going past him, but he has a considerable 8-second lead over 2nd place there, Andy Barber. Not sure what his pit run has been like, Nigel Seidel, but if you could take this all the way, brother, and I get you in the booth as the winners interview. I don't want to shut up, Bob. Don't jinx him. Do not jinx him. Got a little excited there that I need to just quickly visit the little Bobbeth TV's room. So I'll leave you with Nige going into the pits, which means he's going to lose that lead. No! We'll leave you with the leader who, at this moment, will be undecided. Some of these cars will be going in into the pits. Andy J. Barber is our race leader officially, jumping 12 spots to first. All right. I'm just going to powder my nose. I'll be back in a moment. All right, we have just 18 laps to go. Jason Holdsworth has got his car back in to this race lead. There's Daniel Stevens and Andy Barber. Daniel Stevens in seventh. Andy Barber is Jason Holdsworth, main competitor at this stage in second. Ron Thompson actually right behind him in third, so he will also be a part of this chase. Aaron Gilbert, as we see there, our 12th car running. 9 laps down, hasn't been able to sort of rebuild that laps down from early on in the race. Mark Cochran 4 laps down in 11th, 10 for Marty Mitchell in second. And we've got Brian Blundell? Brian Blundell, the 86, 1 lap down with Nigel Seidel. Daniel Stevens, sorry, Daniel. Tim Blundell, he is in sixth. Then the top 5, we see there Matty Raymond, Ruben Phelps, Andy Barber, Ron A. Thompson, and Jason Holdsworth. A lot of those guys, no strangers to the broadcast booth throughout this mammoth 19 race season. Been 12 races in the competition, the regular season, 3 races in the playoffs round 1, 3 races in the playoffs round 2. This is race 3 of that round 2, and next week wrap it all up and decide the Australian NASCAR eSeries Friday Night Trucks, powered by Beat the Dark champion at Chicago Land. 15 laps remain in this race. laps to go. That's Nigel Seidel and Andy Barber. Andy Barber's in third. Nigel Seidel currently eighth, a lap down from Andy Barber there. Currently, currently was inside the truck of Andy J. Barber there. Nigel Seidel and Daniel Stevens racing it out. They are actually racing for 7th and 8th position at the moment with just 10 to go. Eight to go here in this race. Jason Holdsworth's got the lead back up to about 4.8 seconds over Ron Thompson since he got that leader back. How did we miss that? When was that? Let's see if we can kind of... Oh, that might have been the whole pit situation. Yeah, back on lap 129. Last sort of big moves. Lap 139, Nigel Seidel did get past Daniel Stevens, and that's what locked him into 7th place here. Ruben Phelps has passed Andy Barber and gone into 3rd. And back, sorry, Ruben up to 3rd, Andy back to 4th. All right, we are very close. No, we are not. We are here. 5 to go. Jason Holdsworth has just started his 145th lap of this race. Doing amazing things here tonight, Mr. Holdsworth. All playoffs. He has been a gun. The 06 Ruben Phelps is currently in 3rd, but this man, he is our race leader. And with just about 3 to go, is going to secure his spot as the favourite for next week's championship race has been very unbeatable. A few battles still going on the track. Matty Raymond and Andy Barber. What? Matty in fourth, Andy Barber in fifth. Oh, final lap. We're going to get it back up to Mr. Jason Holdsworth. He has earned this moment as he races down at that backstretch for the 150th time. What a flag lap into 3 and 4. He's got no more turning left to do as he hits that dog leg. Gets the checkered flag and takes out race 3 of round 2 of the playoffs of the Australian NASCAR eSeries. Friday night trucks powered by Beat the Dark. Mental health matters. Second, actually, now that it's working again, we can just do this. Oh, just waiting for the unofficial results. Results. Jason Holdsworth, Ron Thompson, Ruben Phelps, first, second, and third. The official results should be on our screens any second. The hour there. Jason Holdsworth first, Ron A. Thompson second. Team name's not coming through for some reason. Ruben Phelps third, Matty Raymond fourth. As let's quick. Let's give him his moment. Oh, is that it? Is that should burn out? Okay, thanks, Jace. Ron A. Thompson second, Ruben Phelps third, Matty Raymond fourth, Andy Barber finishing in fifth, Tim Blundell and Nigel Seidel sixth and seventh, Daniel Stevens finished eighth, Brian Blundell ninth, 10th, Muddy Mitchell, Mark Cochran in 11th, 12th, Aaron Gilbert, Lachlan Akijo 13th and 14th, Tom Pritchard. All right, let's get over to the Discord. We'll have a bit of a chat to the lads. So that is it. Only 150 laps in this season. One remain. Chicagoland next Friday night, June 28th, 8 p.m. 150 laps of Chicagoland to decide who will be the champion. All right, there's a little bit of rustling in the green room as the boys start to filter in. We're just waiting on Mr. Ruben Phelps, and yep, there he is. All right. Start off with our third place finisher here tonight. One of the more consistent guys in the top 5 in the booth this season. Wrapping up round 2, race 3, wrapping up the playoffs. Basically, it's championship week next week. Ruben, Chicagoland. Started second, finished third. Tough competition, some good pits. How do you think your Nashville race went?
Well, yeah, it was a race, I suppose.
Obviously, you always want to do better than you do finish, unless you finish first, and even then, I'm sure you can probably find faults in your run. But no, look, that was a great battle. There's a lot of battles out there. A lot of what we have seen in the playoffs. Actually, a lot is just some examples of that lap down traffic interacting with the lead lap traffic and really putting on a good show. They're battling for their own little races, their own positions, trying to get those laps back. You guys are trying to hold position or gain position. In terms of that, I think that was probably that would have been the biggest obstacle out there on the track tonight.
Oh, there was a few more situations there that you have to figure out, especially when it comes to keeping the truck rotated and things like that. And then, of course, like you said, traffic. But I didn't have too much of an issue with traffic. But when your tires are basically dead and you've got guys catching you and things, of course, you can't run the right line that you really want.
Yeah,
It's sort of like, oh, yeah. But, yeah, no, like in general, the race was okay. There was just really nothing to it, really. It was sort of
yeah,
just if you got the track position, hope you don't kill your tires, and once you're there, you stay there.
exactly right. Yeah, and it definitely wasn't like a detrimental call, but I was very much calling it a very routine textbook sort of example of a NASCAR race. There was not a lot of anything to it. A couple of the guys were messing around with slightly early pit stops, things like that, to see if they can sort of mix it up. You see a few of you guys sort of splitting the race into thirds, some trying to sort of split it into more halves. And yeah, as you say, as your tires go and you can't race that line you want to race, um, making the most of what you can get is essential. And I would definitely say you've done that, and then some throughout the season. Now, championship round next week at Chicagoland. I imagine a lot of preparation goes into these races each week. You guys say that, but the championship, this is it. The last 150 laps of what has been a 19 race season. Um, is it straight to the drawing boards, or do you take a little bit of time off to sort of put the rest of the races behind you?
Oh, like obviously the rest of the season's basically behind me in general, but usually most times I come to the races, I just sort of fluke it anyway. So, but I mean, I do the odd official here and there to try and get a little bit of knowledge before it, but
Yep.
be fair, I just come and have fun. I don't really,
Yeah.
I don't set any I don't set any goals before I come to race. But usually the team just have to hear me whinge all the times if I'm struggling. So I'm sure that's something.
Yeah, yeah, no, that's a big part of the team. The team come together and help you race, but at the same time, yeah, you've got sort of you got those distractions in team and on track as well. But no, it's I'm like that as well. I think I peak way too soon if I put any practice in, and I get confident, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, cool, cool, and I come into the race and then absolutely blow it. So I'm like you. I go out on the night, just see what practice is like, go from there, and sort of just you have your setups and stuff, or your sort of baseline, so to speak. But yeah, no, go out, see what it's like, and see what the track's sort of offering, not see what I can throw at the track. So I feel like every time you practice, the track can do completely weather, time, whatever. Well, best of luck for next week, my man. It's been an exciting season. I've got to know all of you, and as I say, a lot of you have been regulars in the booth all throughout the season. Playoffs have been a little bit more dominant, but that regular season, you can see that some guys have short track skills, some guys have patience on those longer runs and things like that. But you've been extremely consistent in that run, I believe. So congratulations on that. You sort of mentioned the team, but before we let you go, friends, family, and sponsors, who do you want to give a shout out to?
I've got to shout out SRM, of course, Matty Ray and Lockie, and of course, Matty Budd. He was said he was going to race, but he didn't show up, so it's all good. But of course, everybody that runs the league, and of course you, Bob, for putting on the broadcast. I mean, tonight was probably a little bit of a slow show, but it's still a broadcast and a race, so it's all good.
Definitely, man. No, there were some great little one-on-one battles out there. So whether it's a show like this or some of those more close ones where guys have spluttered over the line with no fuel at the end of the race, we've had it all this season. It's always a good show. So big ups to you and the team and the drivers for. But no matter what, as I say, if it's a one caution routine race, you're always putting on the best race that you can put on.
Yeah, exactly. But like, I think the second run there, I I completely messed up the setup, but I made a little. Don't know if you were watching it or not, but there was a big battle between me and Tim Blundell, and
Yes,
I was
yeah.
sliding the heck out of that thing to stay in third place to make at least something to watch. But yeah. And
But
I've also got a. Oh, sorry. I've
no,
also
no,
got a
you go.
thing Moondog as our sponsor as well.
Oh
I keep
yeah,
forgetting to bring
don't
that up.
forget Moondog. But no, yeah, Tim Blundell, he's another one who he had a couple of good shows with you. I think with Andy Barber, Matty Raymond, even Nige. And of course, he has that race that Tim likes to do from the back. I think he started in ninth. That him and Brian always sort of start around the same place and like to race up together. So no, don't. Yeah, the race. Don't sell yourself short. There was definitely some good racy moments out there tonight.
Oh, for sure, exactly. But it would have been better if there was a bit more of a, you know what I mean? Like I said, as soon as you get behind those trucks, it seemed like their aero push really affected them at this track. But I think it's just the way the nature of this track sort of works for some reason at the moment. It's just didn't quite have what the didn't have what I would expect of the truck tonight.
Yep, yep. Well, congratulations. The scores of the points have just come in as well. So you've officially coming into the championship race finished second on 127 points, just 5 points behind Jason in 132, and just 4 points ahead of our lone American Ron Thompson. So yeah, once again, congratulations and best of luck next week.
Yeah, it should be interesting.
Thank you. All right, that was Ruben Phelps in third place. That brings us down to the man of the morning. I was going to say the man of the night, but the man of the morning, Ron Thompson, had a bit of a battle everywhere on the track tonight. Started back in fourth, with the exception of, I guess, a few pit stops and just getting yourself back into the running order of things. Uh, Pretty much a household name, a bit of the furniture in the top five in the playoff series and in this race tonight. How did you think your race went?
Hey, Bob, man, oh man, the race went well. The race went well. I had a couple struggle points, and but all in all, everybody pulled together and still come home second. But I apologize to Ruben. I usually clear out of the corner, and early on, I got about turned myself off the front of him. Most everybody comes off, gives the exit, and I just didn't uh, realize it was that close. So then we had a little contact, but then getting into pits on that one stop, I'd put out my warning that I was pitting, and then I even called it out. But the guy had fallen in, Mark fallen had fell in behind me, so I had to I couldn't make my stop then.
Yep.
So that put me back about 3 or 4 seconds, and I know Jason had some damage, and that's why I was able to get around him and that on that second stint. But all in all, man, I mean, this is a good track. It's a good setup here.
Yeah, it's. Coming into the race, I was like, okay, Nashville. What the fuck's that? Super. Heck, I know. I love Super. How am I not familiar with Nashville? And I've probably raced on it, but I don't know if I've just like put it in the memory in a not so memorable spot of the memory for the track. But no, I thought as I said to Ruben, in terms of all the different races, I think we had a bit of everything throughout the season. But this one was the and obviously no disrespect to any of the drivers, but this was the boring sort of one caution routine, you know, just race yourself, tires and fuel sort of race. There wasn't a lot of action, and when there was, it wasn't sort of workable. If there was, contact with cars or just track space losing grip. But I think they're the better ones because when you have to battle just yourself, I think that's when the guys that's when the opportunity to step up or those guys that do step up really take advantage. Not a problem going 2 or 3 laps down off of a pit stop mid race and just racing yourself, not worrying about all the other cars on the track. Is that a sort of a good description of how the race was run tonight?
Yes, sir, Bob. It was the way we ran it, like you called it there. It wasn't a whole lot of going on, but it did take a lot of concentration to keep hitting your mark on races like this. You want to keep your time up and stay smooth and roll the center. So you really have to get your marks on entry and where you got the mark on exit. and that's why I said I knew once when Jason got into the wall and he started slowing down, he started backing up to me. So then that was, I only passed I think 3 cars all night.
Yep. Yep. No, well, like you say with speed, there was a specific moment where I was you'd taken the lead. Actually, it was after you'd noticed you'd gotten past Jason, so it was a quiet place and quiet spot in the race. But I went back and was able to watch the pass, and yeah, it was just a nice sort of casual pass down low, but having damage obviously explains it. But I stayed on you for a bit, and it was really cool to watch. And I'm going to talk in kilometers. I apologize, but you were doing about 250, 260 kilometers into the exit of a turn, and into the entrance of a turn and on the exit of the turns. But during the apex, the mid part, as you were coming in, you'd slow right down to about 207, 210 kilometers an hour. So there's like a 50-kilometer difference on entrance to the apex to exit on either side of that platform, and it looked like it just, I don't know if it's the TV cameras or it just translates really weirdly. It looks like it's too slow sometimes, but the how quickly you would decelerate to get down to that speed and how quickly you would accelerate back out, it just shows you that yeah, those little breaky moments in the apex obviously really important.
Definitely, and it does feel slow too. Once we get down in there, you find your lifting points, and since our being conservative on the tires and saving fuel, so you find you some lift points. And I mean, I was letting completely out and rolling and coasting to the center, and then easing back on up and off the corner. So I just had minimal tire wear and wasn't racing anybody outside of the time. So you just kept the gaps. But yeah, the center of the corner at Apex, you're right. I was it felt slow same time, because if this track being concrete and the setup now with the new truck change, it will wear the tires off. You'll
Yeah,
four wheels drift. I'll still anytime I overdrove the entry, I could four wheel drift the truck past the apex, and so then that would only hurt me later. So I was trying to be real cautious of that.
yep, no, definitely, and we could see that just like especially coming out of four. You'd see a lot of cars, whether it was very minimal or quite noticeable, but you just see that it just looks like that front end just decides to stay low down on the apron, and the rear just comes out as that car gets a little bit of drift set going. But as a driver, I know it's one of those things where it feels very minimal. It's like one of those little nips back and forth on the wheel, but on screen they just look a lot worse than they are control wise. And yeah, you do see a bit of that. But it's become second nature now watching some of these guys. You sort of half expect some of them seem to run it out, so they do just have that little bit of slide out of
And
the turns to straighten up quicker.
and you need that. You need that. Sometimes it's a because I do that on purpose to change the balance. Like if I've been pushing hard in the corner, taking the right front off, I'll go ahead and flick it coming off so I can get the right rear spinning and get it loose and wear it out so I can get the balance back from front to rear.
Yep.
And so the next time, next couple laps, I'll be able to push a little harder through there. And but anytime, usually there's a way you can drive it off the right front or the right rear, and depending on if you're tight or loose. Now, if some of them are way too loose, there's no getting the front tire scrubbed off. You're just going to be in trouble. So you really have to pay attention to the balance. The guys back at the setup shop, have put out a good set, updated a few of them, and then the guys in the war room calling the race, we were spot on and keeping balance. So, I felt like we showed up with a good piece. We were fast off the truck.
So easily one of my favorites for next week for the championship round. I feel like you're, you know, no offense to anyone else. I've just picked Ron. I like Ron. He's a cool guy. You're my favourite for the championship next week. I think Jason appears to be the Betty's the bookie favourite. If you go to Vegas, he is definitely up there with some good odds to win. But obviously you've got Rubes who finished behind you, Matty Raymond, Andy Barber. You've got some of these guys who might not have raced some of the playoffs, but are there points wise early on in the piece. Solidified their championship race. Um, that might be back next week, or just part of the race to help their teammates. So, it's good luck. It's going to be a heck of a race at Chicagoland next week. Really,
Yeah, we go into four. I think it's Jason, myself, Ruben, and Lucky.
yeah,
And Ruben's always tough. He's good. He's fast, and Lucky is too. So I mean, it's going to be a good championship round between us four. You know,
definitely.
it don't matter whoever wins, whoever beats the other three is the champion, whether they win the race or not.
Yep, yep.
So it plays out good. So yeah, my Jason's going to be tough. Now Chicagoland, I think we're pretty good there too. So there'll be a lot of testing going on this week, I'm sure.
That awesome confidence is always a big part of that. So it sounds like you've got that in there. So it's just getting that car set up the way you like it for the race on the night. So I can't wait to watch it. It's going to be great. Kind of don't want it to come next week because it's the end of the season as well. But I know season 2 not far around the corner. So best of luck, man. As I say, you are the Bobbit TV favorite for the race next week. I can't wait to watch. Before we let
I
you go,
appreciate that.
that's not a problem, my man. Before we let you go, though, friends, family, and sponsors, who would you like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, thanks, Bob. It's the Nitro Racing and Discord, and the team help that we have there. The Fantasia Pastoral creamer cows that produce a good bit. They help out a lot. And then naturally, Boba TV, you guys putting on the race, and then the Australia NASCAR eSeries League here. These guys put a lot of time and stuff during their work week, and takes away from their time and family, just like everybody. But they put on a great show.
Definitely do, definitely do. I do know what it takes to run a league behind the scenes, and it takes a special breed because it does take a big part of your life. So big ups to them, and big ups to them for their choice on drivers as well, because you guys just I came in what race 18. I came in 18 races ago, not really having any sort of background in NASCAR, or really knowing too much sort of about like driving it. And I've come out this end and big fan of all you guys. And no matter what happens, moving on, definitely will be checking you guys out and making sure that, yeah, keep an eye on you if I'm not around. If depending on how the guys go, I know they've got some big announcements coming up, so I'm not sure exactly what's going to entail in that. But yeah, um, best of luck next week, and I hope you take it out.
Hope to talk to you next week. Thanks, Bob.
Definitely, buddy. All right, that was Ron Thompson. Started fourth, finished second. This man really couldn't leave any of the winning pie for the rest of the drivers. Uh, Race 3, round 2 of the playoffs. How many wins have you picked up in these last 6 races?
I missed
3? Is
races.
this? I think this is race
No,
3 or
only
race
two.
2? Only 2.
Only two. Yeah, because I missed a couple of races in round 1. So
Yeah, that's it. Actually, no, playoffs. You've got yourself down as 3 wins in the playoffs. Was that 3 wins? I'm looking at
no,
the
that's 3
points.
wins in the general season.
The general season. All right. So you've wrapped well with all that wrapped up. You are the points champion in that respect, coming into the championship round with that 5-point lead over Ruben. But that race, the pits, you can see a few different guys trying different pit strategies. Some trying to go a bit earlier, some sort of mixing up when they did go back in for that second stint. Some went in a bit early, some went a bit late. With the exception of that, sort of shuffling the field around a little bit, there was just no real stopping you tonight, was there?
I nearly stopped myself, actually.
it,
Remember, Ron did pass me in the second stint. I hit the
it
wall
did. Oh,
at
is
the
that what
end of the
happened?
first stint.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I knew you were carrying some damage.
And
Ron did say you were carrying some damage, and we did go back and just watch that pass. And yeah, he did get by you a little bit easier than I'd expect. So the damage definitely sort of explained it. But the was that on exit of 4?
I exited 4, smacked the wall pretty
Yeah.
hard. Had unrepairable damage. So it only affected me later in the run, like after laps like 40. But I found it very difficult to get into turn 1 with just the lack of side force. That's all it was really. So on older tires, um, less aero, which you really need it when you got less mechanical grip on old tires. Was making it a bit of a challenge, and I just had to let Ron pass because I couldn't really hold it.
Yep.
And I made some adjustments in the pits to compensate for it. That's why I was okay in the third stint. But I'm glad there was no caution because without that gap, Ron got a little bit unlucky with the pits by the sounds of it.
Yep.
And it gave me a bit of a lead, but I don't think if there was another caution, I don't think I would have won that race. I wouldn't have had the speed.
Well, you build up the by the finish, you build up the lead to about 6.1 seconds, 6.12, and that's I think that's sort of a testament to that driving, to that to not panicking, working with what you've got, sort of making those changes as you go, and just doing the work as you sort of. I was doing the broadcast. You might actually. I couldn't get the overlays to work at the start, so I had to revert back to the old ones. And I was consulting in Discord while calling the race, and I got them working again, so we finished up all right. But I feel like that's a great analogy for your race there. It's sort of like, okay, that's not working. We'll do this. We'll work with this instead. Okay, now I've worked out how to get my thing working again, and off you go, and you run away with it. Felt like the exciting parts of the race, if I could call them that, were the bits where and they're only most of them were only a lap or two down, but the lead traffic getting around the lap traffic, and there was some really good battles in that lap traffic going on. A lot of the positional battles in the race were predominantly coming from those sort of the lap cars. Uh, do you enjoy getting around those, getting through those? Do you feel like that adds a bit of extra skill to your set when you've got to sort of race people that are racing each other but aren't necessarily as quick as you?
I don't think I came across anyone. Everyone's very respectful in the league,
Yep.
obviously, when the leaders are coming through. So they don't. They give it up quite nicely. They don't make your life hard, which is obviously what you want at the end of the day. So, um, yeah, lap cars the whole season has been perfect. No one's like you're getting lap for a reason, right? So there's no point
Yeah.
starting to race people.
Yeah. Yeah.
So just jump in. Even when I've been in that position, I just let people through. This is no point, right? You end up bidding it or doing something stupid.
Yep. Yep. No, that's always been my advice. It's not great advice, but I've always said, look, when I'm on a track and someone is going to be able to get past me, I just let them pass me because either A, they're going to crash the guys in front of me, B, they're faster, or C, they're just going to run and I'll catch them later. You know what I mean? Like, so all of those elements have an if I sort of stay out of it and let that just play on, it doesn't affect my race. And the guy's quicker and he goes on, or he's not quicker and I pass him. And as I say, he might cause an accident. And I get a few spots. It's sort of I feel like it's let other people make those race decisions, and you just have to deal with them rather than being a part of them. I think that's a big part.
Yeah, and even when I was starting out, right, when I'd have those guys that are significantly faster, it was always nice to get in behind them, understand what line they were taking, the
Yes.
speed
Oh,
of the
yes.
corner.
Yeah.
Also helps you get better.
Yep.
And it's seeing that in real time is obviously something that helps you learn in anyone's when they want to develop and get better.
And look, it's something that we always talk about in all these interviews when the guys giving thanks and about yourself and Nige and the boys that background that go to making this league together and agreeing that it's a great league and you guys put great effort into it, but the drivers you've assembled, they've been assembled for a reason. They just add to the league and add to everyone's betterment of driving and their skills. Not going to not get better racing against these boys, and I think that sort of it's shown that because you've really you've had a lot of suitors throughout each race, especially tonight. The Ron Ruben, I think Nigel led a lap or two. Andy Barber was up there for a while. Matty's always hunting up there. There's always people that can nip at your heels, so it goes a long way in making you a better race car driver, I believe.
Yeah, obviously, it's a nice, really competitive league. Like you look at everyone that's got wins throughout the season. Like there's such a diversity of winners. It's just not one person dominating week in, week out.
Mm.
So whenever you show up, it's always good to it's something to learn because obviously just out front, dominating, you don't learn much. But you can see by the multiple winners that everyone needs to learn something, right, at each track.
Exactly.
Winning. So,
Yeah. Exactly right. Yeah, and if you're not, regardless, even if you're winning, if you're not coming out of that race, we're going, I actually learned something in that race. How minor or how major, you haven't done enough in that race. It's always come out of it going, yep, I learned something. I confirmed a suspicion, or I backed up a thing that I've been trying to work out. It's always a growing and learning experience. That's why I love it so much. It's, you know, being able to participate in that sort of world and do this, a lot of fun. Such a great little
yeah,
hobby we have ourselves.
definitely. More like an addiction, not a hobby.
But yeah. I can't say that too loud. I have to refer to it as a hobby when the missus is walking around the studios. But now, look, congratulations, man. We've had you in the booth a number of times. Always an absolute pleasure. And the lone Toyota in a sea of Chevys and Fords tonight. So well done for representing and getting it done with the underdog, as I would call it. Now we've talked about people giving thanks and teams and sponsors and stuff, but friends, family, sponsors. Who do you need to give a shout out to, man?
Always the guys at Nitro, obviously providing me with the sets each week, advice, especially when I get stuck on handling a few different little things this week. I think it's been taking me. I did a few races this week to get my head around some of the new builds. So thanks to
Yep.
Ross, Dan, those guys. Also got to I'll thank Nick already for next week, who's already been outfitting me out for Chicagoland. Hopefully I get to thank him on the broadcast.
Yep.
But if I'm not there, I'm thanking him now since we've already been doing some work. Thanks for you for broadcasting, obviously Nige as well. So I know a lot of effort goes in by Nige.
I was a bit lost tonight. I've got used to having Nige in the booth the last 2 weeks.
He had some fun racing the other night. That's why he wanted to race. So.
And yeah, seeing him out there in the lead, I'm like, I was cheering him on, and I'm like, dude, he's only like 40 laps to go. You hold it, like stretch it out, and then you like 2 laps later, he goes into the pits. I'm just like, no.
Unfortunately.
Awesome run, man. Congratulations. Best of luck next week. I said to Ron, you'll hear this on the broadcast if you go back and rewatch it, so I might as well dob myself in now. Ron, I don't know. It's just, I really enjoyed Ron all season. So he's the Bobbeth TV pick for the championship round next week. But I think if we went to the bookies, you would be the odds-on favourite to take it out.
Well, Ron and I are working on the same set, so
that's true. That's true.
Yeah, so if my internet connection goes down, obviously I want Ron to win, but obviously I want myself to win. But I'm sure Ron and I will be smashing the officials next week to make sure we're on point.
Well, we might have to give Rubes the underdog, or him and Lachlan can Lockie can battle it out for the underdog.
Nitro for SRM.
That is true. It's all come down to the two. Well, bragging rights and championship on the line next week, my friend. Best of luck. I'm glad it's you guys battling it out and not me. I just get to call it.
Have one more thing to say. I just want to thank the Southern Stars boys for not showing up this year in the truck season. Better luck next season, boys.
And the fire has been lit for season 2 officially. All right, hasn't even got to the end of the race season yet, and he's throwing out the bragging rights. All right, Jace, I'm going to go before they storm the studios. Best of luck next week, man, and we'll talk soon.
Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Jason throwing out fighting words to the Stars boys. Nitros versus Stars. SRM, sorry, on the championship next week. Stars boys being given the challenge for next season. All right, well, that wraps up the playoffs. Round 2, race 3, Nashville Superspeedway. It actually wraps up the playoffs in total. We've got one more race to go. That is Chicagoland next week. So come and join us. It'll be Friday night, Australian, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll be live about 8:15 Eastern. Griff the Merciless, just in the chat right at the end, the Wibbly Wobbeth. wibbly wobbly timey wimey. No, sorry, you don't do Doctor Who. You're the only UK guy I know that doesn't do Doctor Who. That sucks. All right, look. On behalf of the Australian NASCAR eSeries, the Friday Night Trucks, powered by Beat the Dark, Mental Health Matters, Bobith TV, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Thank you so much for watching tonight. We'll be back with the championship round next week. My name is Bob. Bye.